workshop. It's in the international workshop in the framework of the RECONMATIC project. And we are going to present some tools and some good results. So I will give the floor to Juan to introduce this.
So again, hello to everyone. Just to provide a short intro to the project for those who are not so very well familiar with RECONMATIC, and mainly then with the background why we are today here. So here are some basic figures of our project with, let's say, all the partners, with the duration of the project, which will end this year in 4 months, and with a rough idea about the budget which is dedicated to RECONMATIC. This is the focus we created 4 years ago, just to even stress what you will hear today, and why we have been developing a kind of tool which is looking at circularity, sustainability, and on the whole life cycle of a project or solution or whatever, because that's what we defined for ourselves at the beginning. So if dealing with construction, demolition waste, and related topics, we always are looking at this topic in all stages of a project life or product life which we can have. And this, of course, is then creating some missions we defined as well in the past, starting with the avoidance or minimization of waste and going up to the valorization state. And in each of these, let's say, steps or states, you can have, of course, different solutions or, let's say, applications or new innovations are possible to be reached, so that you can better or more effective manage or work with the construction demolition waste we are generating in real life on our sites or in the construction projects. This is, of course, in case of RECONMATIC, further linked to the objectives. And from these key objectives we have defined for our project, for today, the most important is the key objective 5, where we define for the European Commission that we will focus on assessment and evaluation of the solutions which we are going to develop, and even beyond these solutions, to provide a kind of application or tool which will help not only the professionals in LCA or other kinds of assessments to look on projects or solutions in terms of, let's say, economic or business or environment dimension, and assess them in terms of sustainability and circular economy. So that's the direct link between what we are going to present or discuss today to the objectives we set several years ago. The outline and the implementation we defined for RECONMATIC more or less mirrors the previous slides and the missions and objectives. So again, you can see that we have all the life cycle stages, beginning with design, going up to sorting of waste or generating new materials which are coming from construction demolition waste. And this is framed by something we, let's say, defined as construction demolition waste value chain, where we set as one of the solutions which shall be implemented, a kind of digital protocol. At that time, 4 years ago, we called that a protocol. Presently, we are more calling it a tool or app which helps to do these assessments. You can see that there is, of course, much more. We have another kind of platform for information management system where we are looking closer on mainly material flow during the life cycle. And of course, on the other hand, there are some training materials and training tool which brings to all who are interested the knowledge we have generated. Okay. As most of the European projects, RECONMATIC had to define several demo cases as well. On this slide, you can see those which are defined for Europe. Of course, we have a few in China as a non-Europe partner as well, but let's focus on what has been defined for Europe. And from these demo cases, what we are going today a little bit to demonstrate with the sustainability and circularity solution or tool is linked to two of the demonstrators, the one in my country here in Czech Republic, and the other one later presented by Theodoros in Greece. The demonstration cases and let's say the solutions we are trying to demonstrate and show how they work in some real conditions or real circumstances as we do have them on sites is linked deeply to various, let's say, solutions in the digitalization of the construction sector. We have some of them, let's say, working with digital models, or how we can more effectively, in some cases, create digital models. We have some waste prediction tool which has been developed in the UK. We already implemented a new ontology which supports BIM, especially in the attributes which are then linked to the geometries we have in the models. And of course, we have been focusing also on other solutions where we implemented some of the machine learning models for materials to be quickly identified, for example, for better or more effective sorting or pre-sorting. We have a blockchain for order delivery of some of the materials. That's exactly what later Theodoros will show you a little bit as well. And finally, we developed some solutions for IoT systems, or let's say units which can be mounted to waste skips and are providing in a smart way some monitoring. Here you can see just in a very quick way the principle of the blockchain which was developed for concrete, so that we can more effectively order, deliver, and manage the logistics of concrete to avoid that wrong concrete or wrong amount of concrete is arriving on sites, and that's then of course quite often in the real practice related to some extra waste. Waste predictor is something which shall help mainly designers when for example designing various alternatives of a design so that they can link this quickly to some supporting tool which tells them if one or another variant of their design is providing less or more waste. Then I already mentioned some digital models, or we are not fully correctly calling it digital twins. This was mainly developed to support and provide some automation for pre-demolition audits or pre-innovation audits in cases where we do not have any kind of digital model. So we developed two options or solutions how this can be done. Finally, you have a few pictures which are related to the better sorting or final sorting, where one aspect is going to including different models, meaning machine learning models, to identify quickly what is concrete, what is a breaker, what is asphalt mixture, so that these information can be then linked to the robotics, and a robot which helps to do, for example, final sorting is doing this with very high accuracy. So that's quickly the showcase of RECONMATIC. And now the question why we are today having the workshop, because as mentioned earlier, we developed several solutions. We have generated a lot of reports. We have been working on our demonstration cases, and we committed ourselves to develop and provide a kind of app or digital protocol which can measure or assess the sustainability and circularity of not only these solutions, but even later beyond RECONMATIC project, for whomever who needs such kind of assessment to maybe reach a better possibility to decide if the solution really helps and supports his or her business, and provides some extra added values for the sustainability and circularity. So that's why we do have the workshop, to introduce to everyone who is joining us today this tool, because most of you have been following some of our previous workshops or meetings. Many of you have been involved in the developments, and now it's the right time to let's say share with you how this app is working, what we can expect from the app. And finally, you will by two case studies, short case studies, to see what can be the result if you use this app or this protocol to make your evaluation or assessment for the particular solution. So that's the reason for the meeting today. And now I'm giving back the stage to Teresa, who will continue describing the tool and how it works.
Thank you very much, John, to present and to do this overview of RECONMATIC. As John said, I would like to show you the tool, how it was built, how to measure, how to run it, and the results of the previous or the preliminary assessment that were done with this tool. So please, I will try to share my screen. Can you
Yes.
see my screen?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, I cannot see you. Okay, so please feel free to interrupt me if you have some doubt, if you need some extra clarification. Okay, so we call our tool ConsCAT, Circular Sustainability and Circular Assessment Tool for the construction sector. Okay, and we see that we know that many tools exist, but few of them cover all sustainability dimensions and circularity dimensions. And there were not tools focused specifically on construction and demolition waste. And on the other hand, similar tools exist, but they were complex or need experience or digital support. And we knew that companies need guidance from the very start. That's why we create this tool. This tool is a guidance tool intended to guide non-experts in the actors in the construction value chain to understand, implement, assess, and prioritize sustainable criteria and circular criteria to prevent, minimize, and mitigate negative impacts of these dimensions, of the sustainability dimension and circularity dimension, and also help to identify the strength of the solutions and to complement all the decision-making tools and methods in those that Jan explained, developed within the RECONMATIC project, and do this in a semi-quantitative way. And I will explain later why. So I would like to explain how this tool was built. So first of all, we consider a really big number of reference documents, some of them published or others that were in a very advanced status, maybe in public review. And those reference documents and existing tools were related to buildings, sustainability, and circularity. Then we talk to the main stakeholders, all those actors that operate in the different life cycle stages of the buildings, to define indicators, methodology of the tool, and the futures. And we did so doing or conducting interviews and workshops. Then, from this review and talking by stakeholders, we elaborate a big list of indicators and then define the assessment method. And once we have all this structure and content, then we design and program the tool to be online, free, and of course customizable by demand, and validating through the 6 demo cases. As I told you, all these documents were focused on sustainability, on certification schemes in constructions, standards, tools, also existing guidelines, policies, and of course, indicators of sustainability and circularity that were already defined. The interviews and workshops were addressed because the tool is going to be addressed to designers, architects, engineers, and researchers, manufacturers and suppliers of construction products, construction companies itself, asset managers and clients, demolition and disassembly companies, waste managers, and recovery and recycling companies. As you see, they cover all the steps, all the life cycle phases of the building. For the list of indicators, all that topics that were going to be used to assess the circularity, we identified a huge list of indicators, more than 700, and after hard work of grouping, classifying, screening, we reduced the list about 100 indicators. Those indicators are classified in 5 dimensions and subdimensions, as you can see on the screen. Social dimension with 24 indicators. Environmental dimension is the biggest one. Economic dimensions, management and governance, and technical, to assure that all these dimensions are really diagnosis. So we have realized when we developed we were thinking about the methodology, how to manage all this huge number of indicators, we have realized that the user didn't have quantitative data. And some projects were still in a pilot or ideation phase. And also with innovative solutions, we didn't have benchmarks for all indicators. So we create a semi-quantitative tool that capture the changes that the solutions and the evaluation could bring to all solutions. So this is important. We want to see if the solutions that we are assessing capture some changes in the indicators and subdimensions. So during the interviews and workshops, users told us exactly what they need. They wanted a tool that anyone could use with clear guidance, definitions, and links to relevant policies. They wanted to know not just how to measure performance, but also how to improve it. So the tool guides users step by step and produce a clear descriptive report with practical recommendations. So this makes it practical, easy to use, and I hope useful for everyone. So as I said, we are going to measure what happened in how the solutions evolve the situation. For each indicator, the tool asks if it's improved the situation or getting worse. So for each indicator, we ask, is this indicators improving your specific situation? And the answers are much worse, same, better, or much better, or also can be not applicable. So when the user indicate that the solution can address some burden shiftings, so translate to move one or shift one impact to other dimensions, the tool gives some ways to improve. And when the solution improves, is getting improve the indicators, the tool gives tips about how different ways to communicate. And also, in order to prioritize the measures to take into account, the tool will allow users to assign relative importance to each subdimension. So through importance, viability, and urgency. So the scoring algorithm is currently, well, helps to prioritize this. The tool has been programmed, as you will see, and will be free, and is being validated now through 6 demo cases that Jan already explained. The results that the tool gives, as you can see on the screen, are a series of graphs that allocate the different dimensions and subdimensions in 4 areas according to the importance, urgency, and feasibility in order to prioritize the measures to improve and the topics that can be communicated. And also here, indicators by indicator, it's possible to see in just one view which indicators have been improved, which are all of the right area, which indicators remains the same, and which indicators have been getting worsened. Okay, and then the tool gives some reports to improve and to communicate. So now, in the following presentation, we are going to see how the tool should be run, and then the validating. So thank you very much. I will give the floor to Juan to explain how the tool is going to, how to run the tool.
Thank you very much, Teresa. I think it is Bahid who is going to
explain
how the tool runs.
Yes. Hello, everyone. So at this moment, I'm gonna share my screen to present the digital tool we developed for sustainability and circularity assessment tool. So can you see my screen? Is it visible? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
we can see it perfectly.
Okay. So I start presenting a ConsCAT application. So as you can see, it is developed under domains conscat.recomatic.eu. So it includes different pages, including public and private pages. So public pages give general information and introduction to users, so they can get information about the content of the application, how it works, and what are the features. So in the main page, as you can see, we have this information about the application, RECONMATIC, and other extra information about the funding. But the main pages of application are included in the dashboard. So for this purpose, we have a login button here. When we click on that, we have a login page for ConsCAT application, and each user can register in the system by his or her private email. So this feature gives security, safety to system, and because we are using one-time password, so in this way, we don't have to use store any password, and we stick to security and privacy principles as well. Juan, I will send one password to your email at a moment.
Yes, waiting to receive it.
Yeah, so after entering the email, one-time password will be sent to user email. And if you read it for me, please.
Yes, it is 315
Yeah.
769.
Yeah, so we click on submit, and when we submitting password, then when is matching the password in our services in backend, so user is allowed to enter the dashboard. So in this section, we have dashboard pages that includes creating assessment, managing assessment, and also answering to question on their dimension and subdimensions. Also here we have terms and conditions that each user can observe, what are our policy and regulation regarding this application as well. So I'm going to create a new assessment at the moment. So here the user can enter a solution, target solution to access. Any name should be entered. Also the name of the company or organization or project name. And finally, the user should select the role of himself here. So it can be raw material suppliers, manufacturers, builder and contractors, waste managers, owners and users, designer and architects. So as an example, I select one of them and submit. So as soon as a new assessment is created, so user will be redirected to selecting dimensions. So we have 6 dimensions here, including economic, environmental, that includes impact and resource, management and governance, social, and also technical. So as soon as none of the questions are answered, so the images are in black and white, and there is no check on the assessment files. In this way, you can user can realize that which of the dimension assessment of that assessment is completed for getting the report. Also, when user completes one of these dimension questions, so one button for reporting will be appear under the task as well. So I'm gonna to complete one of these assessment. So here, one of the dimensions. So in this section, we have economic dimension. User can see the subdimensions that come under the dimension that these are for economic, for instance. Also, here, user can include or exclude by checking or unchecking the checkbox here. Also, in the second and third column, respectively, we have importance and urgency. So user can change the slider to left or right and select different values that is related to importance and also urgency. The description of importance and urgency also shown here, as you can see, that are rated from 1 to 5. So after selecting a subdimension, I will proceed to next page by clicking on next button. Here we can see the questions that come under those 2 subdimensions. We have the title of dimension, the title of subdimension, the title of question, and one tip that comes in here. Also, just I want to mention one thing. Yeah. So in this section that we selected subdimensions, also user can hover on icon information, so he can read the tooltip, that is a description of the subdimension, and it improves the readability as well. So in this page that the questions come under subdimension, user should select each of these options that the answers are of two types, response type 1 and response types 2. So we have the different ranges. So it comes from much better, better, same, worse, much worse, not applicable, I don't know, or response type 2 that are in a template of yes, no, or I don't know, or not applicable. On the right side, also we have a progress that shows which of these subdimensions are completed. For example, we have 2 questions in total that we are in the first question. Or for cost subdimension, we have 1 question that none of them are completed yet. So by clicking on next, user will proceed to next question. So as you can see now, benefit subdimension is completed to Y2 and is checked. I click on next for next one. So as you can see, both of them are checked and questions are completed at this stage. So when the questions are completely answered, user should click on submit. After clicking on submit, you can see that the dimension is checked here and the image turns to colorful format. So now, once we have one of these dimensions checked, we can access to assessment report by clicking on the button below. So here we have brief and also in detailed reports, including general information, dimensions answer, related charts, final scores, how to improve guidance, and also how to communicate. That in how to communicate, based on the rules of the user that is selected by himself, he can click on that and get the PDF report for the related role, as you can see. So Juan, if you want to talk more about the report on this assessment, or if you want to share your screen, please let me know.
Yes, I would like to share my screen.
Okay.
Thank you, Bahit. Okay. So now I'm inside the tool, right? So what I'm going to explain is about the report, the final report that that we get with the assessment that we have developed. And for that, I have created a mock example, so a mock report. So here, for example, we are talking about the Humphrey Booth building, that this is a pre-demolition assessment framework that, that we created from the University of Salford. So here I've got, I have already created it, and this is the date that I created. And what I will show is the different solutions. So in this case, I'm going to go to view. Sorry, I can't see the screen. So here in view, I've got the assessment that I developed. In this case, I assessed 4 categories. So I worked with economic, environmental resource, management and governance, and social. So you can see that, for example, if I go to economic, you can see that I only assessed the 2 first ones. I highlighted importance and urgency, and for this I established the values for them. And then the following is to go to next. So I already replied the questions, right? So I will go next, 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 and submit, right? So it is exactly the same what I did with the rest. So I completed some of the subdimensions, and I go to the assessment report, and here it is the assessment report. So here, the information that we can display, it is general information. So it is the initial information that I entered in the assessment. And then you can see that I have 4 dimensions that are assessed. So we've got economic, management and governance, social, and environmental. So if I open, for example, economic, right, we have this graph. So in this chart, you can see that we have the 2 subdimensions that we assessed, and according to urgency and importance, they are identified in this chart. So here we can see which ones are a priority for us. So we can see that in the square that we have in the top right, it is the biggest priority for us in this assessment, and the ones that are in the bottom left are the less priorities, the less priority that we have for these ones. So going ahead, for example, if we go to management and governance, exactly the same. So in this case, we evaluated 4, right? And we can see that these 4 are represented as well here in this chart, and we can perfectly identify the priority that we have for them. Going to environmental, for example, in this case, we can see that we can identify priorities as well. So you can see that in this case, the materials, it is the biggest priority that we have in this assessment. And for example, water is the least priority that we have. With that, we have also a final score. So if we open the final score, we can find the number of indicators that are included in the different categories that we highlighted. So you can see that we have percentages. For example, we have 5% of the indicators that are in worse, right? And we have 24% of indicators that are in no changes, right? That the solution doesn't make any change. So here we can identify the level of implications that we have with the indicators. Going ahead, we can see a table with these indicators, and we can identify that we have which ones are worsened, which ones are the same, or which ones are improved. So we can compare these results. And finally, we have a maturity level assessment where we can see also in what range we are moving with these indicators. So for example, we can see that, for example, considerations about water, they are not at a high level. So we are not improving water. In fact, we are worsening it in some points, right? And we can go towards energy consumption, that it could happen the same. So thinking about reuse in demolition and the construction, we are using more energy with the construction possibly. And then thinking about materials, we can see that the biggest strength that we have with this application, it is about materials and how we improve these indicators. So this way we can perfectly identify where we are working and where we should make improvements. So in this case, it's clear that for water management, it is where we should make improvements. Going ahead, we can see the rest of indicators, of course, thinking about service life. So here you can see that we extend service life with reuse of materials. So this is the purpose of this application that we have created with the PDA tool. And going ahead, we can see all indicators that we assessed. Next, we have two steps more, two more information. So in this case, we have how to improve and how to communicate. How to improve, it refers to the indicators that are worsened, and how to communicate, it is for the indicators that are improved and how we can communicate with different agents that are part of that are also part of society. So if we open how to improve, in this case, what we can identify is specific actions, specific activities that we can make to improve these indicators that are worsened. And here we have some recommendations that we can have. So in this case, we are with benefits, circular business, for example. We've got in the dimension management and governance as well. And if we go, for example, in water, I did water because perhaps it is the most representative one in this case. Here you can see that we have many recommendations to improve it. Right? Okay. Finally, what we have is how to communicate. So it refers to the ones that we have improved. So in this case, in how to communicate, what we have developed, as Bahid said, it is standard recommendations that we can make about how to work with different parties that and how to communicate these results, because it is important also to grow our reputation with these parties. So if we click here in construction companies, we can see that we download it, right? I don't know if you can see the file.
We cannot see the screen, Juan, I think.
It is in black. It is in black.
Yes, it is because I opened the document now. So I'm going to share the new document. Can you see now the document?
No. Yeah. Yes.
Yes, no.
Perfect. So this is the PDF that is downloaded. In this case, I referred to construction companies, right? So I did the assessment from the construction company perspective. So this is the standard document that we have about how to communicate. So in this case, we have a list of contents first, a very brief description of the purpose of the toolkit, and then we start going, for example, to strategic narrative recommendations. So how we can sell our indicators, our improvements, right? So here there are some recommendations for that. As well, we make a standard list of key indicators that we can present, right? And that we can indicate these improvements, and how we can indicate these improvements. As well, we have a list of target audience, so who we can communicate that and how, right? So here we explain or we indicate the channels that we can use and the relevant information that is important for this audience, for these parties. We have also key messages so that we can simplify how we can transmit, how we can communicate this information, these improvements, and also storytelling. It is very important to tell a story behind. So how we are at this point now, right? And how we achieve that. Okay, so it is very important as well. And of course, we've got recommended formats that we can make that. We have also proposed a 12-month roadmap where we can that we can follow and see how we can work on this process for communication. Some support tools that we can use, and also communication KPIs. Right? So what we can assess about this communication. A final checklist so that we can check if we did everything. And then we've got an axis. So in this case, for example, if we want to make a product self-declared environmental claim, in this case, we have some advice about how we can follow ISO 14020 and 14021 so that we can make it as a self-declaration. And that's it from my side. Teresa, I think that it is now your turn.
Sorry.
Teresa can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. Well, I think we can now to see the validating projects through Jan and Theodoros.
I would probably firstly ask Theodoros if he can start.
Okay, just give me a minute to share my screen. Okay. Can you see my full screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so the first demo case, well, among the many demo cases that we have in RECONMATIC, the one that I'm going to present has some particularities. I will explain a little bit later. And it is about a tool that mainly aims at preventing fresh concrete from being a waste. Give me some time to have my pointer on. Okay. So let me start by presenting the tool, the particularities it has. It's the scope of developing it in order to be able to better understand the results that we're going to see at the end. So the motivation for prescribing in our proposal that we're going to develop a blockchain application just for this topic to prevent fresh concrete has been the serious environmental problem that it is related to concrete. Concrete is part almost of every construction, from infrastructure to buildings, and it is considered among the most environmentally worse materials that one can use. It is very important to have some quantities in mind to understand the problem. Otherwise, when I discuss about a single producer, the environmental benefits might seem ridiculous, but it's not. And we always look in implementing these technologies in a larger scale. So even if we focus just in Europe, which is not the main fresh concrete producer in the world, and try to quantify the production of fresh concrete every year, it's a huge amount, 240 million cubic meters per year. Imagine a huge wall, 10 meters thick, 10 meters high, with a length of 400 kilometers per year. This is just what happens every year. So this is a huge amount. So when I share with you that almost 4 to 5% of this amazing volume becomes waste before it even used, while it is liquid, then you can understand that this very small, tiny amount or percentage is a huge environmental problem. And it's not just because we consume materials and we produce waste, but it is also because a very large amount of the energy spent in the building sector, which is the worst sector regarding the energy and greenhouse gas emissions, is attributed to this to the concrete production. So it is something that has to do with materials, has to do with the entire sustainability of the construction and the building sector. Yes, concrete can be recycled when it is hardened, but in every case, we have lower quality aggregates, and we have to spend additional efforts, additional energy in order to start from the waste and have some kind of aggregate that we'll try to see how we're going to use later. So it is a problem that we have to fight, and this has been the reason to try to do something to improve the situation in something that becomes waste before it has even existed or been used. So We also have to keep in mind, because it is very much related to the results of the assessment tool, that fresh concrete is not the same as concrete. It's an entirely different material, and mainly because it's like it lives fast and dies young. It has an extremely short living material, just a few hours. After that, it becomes a waste. So a very important factor to see it as a material that we have to do something with it is time. We have to act very fast, and we have to keep in mind that time is a crucial information in order to understand how long it will going to live, how long can we use it before we throw it away because it is not usable anymore. This particularity affects the entire set of results and the assessment tool. So we have to do with time, but also we have to do with the environmental conditions. For example, well, this is a problem mainly in Southern Europe, because when we construct during the summer and we have delays in the urban environment, together with really extreme temperatures, then the time that this fresh concrete will stay alive and valuable is even shorter. So we have to address the problem of time, and we have to share this information among all involved stakeholders, not just the producer, but also the site manager, who has the responsibility to decide if this will be waste or it is in a condition that it can be used. And at the end, another thing to remember is that there is no way that we will not have waste. Even if we deliver, the truck goes and deliver the entire content of fresh concrete, there is still some leftovers there, which may be from, I don't know, something like 30 kilograms up to 100 kilograms. It depends on the material every time. That has to be returned because we cannot pump it out from the truck. So we have waste whatever we do. Usually we have waste not just because we can take everything out of the truck, but because we, as designers or as our site managers, we want to be sure that we will not left a column without concrete. So we always have some over-ordering quantities, even if we just spend money on it, just to be on the safe side and keep the construction going on. So we do have waste every time, and in many, many cases, we have more than expected or what stays inside the trunk, since we don't use the entire volume that we have ordered. So what we have thought, what we have proposed, and what we have finally completed over the last year is a tool. It's being considered smart. I will explain it a little bit later. That goes through the entire life cycle of fresh concrete, which involves ordering, management before it gets delivered or before it returns to the batching site, the delivery, and whatever we can do while it is returning to the batching site. This is the lifespan that this tool can address, and this is the lifespan of the fresh concrete. After that, it is a different material, and it is being treated otherwise. So we have to prevent, well, the main goal is, this is ideal, to prevent it, the entire order to become a waste, to use it before the whole of it and have no amount returning back to the batching side. If we can achieve that, and in most cases we can, to have information on the quality of this concrete. Why? Because even if it leaves the construction site to get back to the batching site for recycling or whatever, if there is some value, if the properties are adequate to be used somewhere else in smaller orders or in bigger orders, it depends on the quality. If we had a safe way to understand the properties and in a reliable way sell it to someone, and this someone can accept it for some construction purposes, that would turn the potential waste into something useful. So we prevent waste And on the other hand, since it was waste, it has no value for the producer. It is just additional cost to treat it. There is always the possibility to sell it in the market, in the open market, even in a very high, lower price, or even give it away for free, because even if the producer gives it away for free, he avoids extra cost to treat the waste. So there are many advantages in trying to do something with this fresh concrete before it becomes a waste. But what is needed in all these processes is for all involved partners to be on the safe side, to know that the material they order or they use is somehow certified, and that the properties are guaranteed, at least based on the age of the fresh concrete or the environmental conditions. So this is the reason that we did not just develop an application. Anyone can do that. That just manages all these processes, the multiple processes, while fresh concrete is still a live material. But we have initially chosen blockchain, because blockchain is, in a nutshell at least, it's a certification technology like the one used in Bitcoin. Nobody can alter it. And from the point that we have agreed and signed that this is what I ordered, or this is the time that it has left the batching site, or this is the time it has reached the construction site. So everybody have access to this information, and everybody can take the responsibility of whose fault is that when fresh concrete has been delivered is not of the required properties. So we have chosen blockchain because it can guarantee that the fresh concrete order, the volume that I receive, or it is somewhere around anyway until it returns back, has a full history, certified history, a true history that gives reliability on its properties. And this is an asset. It helps people accept this amount of material because they know that the properties are right based on the data. Other key characteristics of blockchains that we can have an entire network where many people have access to this information. So we can create in the future, it is not part of what we have done here. But on a larger scale, beyond the demonstration, you can have an entire market network of people that are waiting in their monitor or in their phone to find some cheap concrete of specific properties that they can buy instead of the truck returning to the batching site, buy it in a lower price and do their job and help the environment by preventing this amount of concrete to become waste. But even if it comes back to the batching site, the producer knows the exact time or can estimate it because we have tracking services to notify us where exactly the truck is and what time is expected to come back. So we can manage to reorganize, reschedule the entire production line of the day in order to make use of this concrete. Either, I have it in next slide. Okay, either in entirely new order that I have to send, if this is compatible and if the amount will not affect the quality of the new order, or make different other decisions, like for example, to try to do something with the concrete when nobody can use it. When I cannot use it in another new mixture because its properties are not adequate anymore. But still, I can schedule all these returnings during the day and try to treat this waste the best way I can, which is to use all the aggregates, raw aggregates actually, before even have to crush, to let it dry and then crush it, which will require from the producer to spend time, man-hours, energy to crush it and use aggregates that contains both concrete and both raw aggregates. While it is still fresh, and I know that I will, at the end of the day, I will have a certain amount of this surplus lying in these pools that you see in the photo. I can organize it throughout the day and just claim all these aggregates in a very, very easy way, preventing extra costs, and what is left otherwise can be much more easily crushed and finally recycled to another material for another use. So the tool handles the entire life cycle of fresh concrete until its end of life, when it is get hardened and used as a recycled material. But the tool does not go into recycling. Actually, it stays on the prevention of making it a waste. So these particularities made it a little bit difficult to interpret a lot of questions. For example, questions regarding the life cycle approach of any other construction material usually refer to a very long time, years. So it has a different meaning when you are referring to a material that lives just for a few hours. It's a different concept of the life cycle of this material. And this is one characteristic. And the other characteristic is that the entire life cycle is actually upon the producer's hands and decision, because he handles the raw materials. And when it becomes waste, he has also to handle the waste. So only one other kind of stakeholder is involved, and this is the client, or in the future when it goes out of the demo case and be used in all of the orders of this company or other companies, then there will be also other clients to deal with. But these two characteristics, the short life cycle and that everything is in the producer hands, it is something that I have seen that have affected a lot of my responses. And also it took me some time to better understand and translate, interpret all these questions to make it specifically relevant to what we have investigated. So although I belong to the academia, I have decided to assess the tool from the side, from the perception of the producer. And this is because I had the pleasure to manage the Greek demonstrator. So we have all worked very hard together. The construction company, the producer, the University of Thessaly, and we, in developing this application. And we have a very nice understanding of what should have been done, or how the manufacturer, actually the producer, the concrete producer, understands and sees and expects from the tool. That's why I'm representing an entire team here in this assessment. Okay, so because it is an assessment, I have tried to deal with all the dimensions and all sub-dimensions in order to understand, and I had to report it, to be honest, to understand which of these are applicable to the specific tool with its particularities that I have mentioned before. Obviously, I'm not going to go through the entire assessment. It's a lot of questions to develop. I have to admit, and I have to congratulate my partners, my colleagues here, that the interface is not just a nice looking environment, but has improved the tool. Well, it started as an Excel file, actually. It was very difficult to follow. But the interface at its latest form is very descriptive. You can have help and assistance to understand how exactly you can interpret any question, because this is a characteristic. If I was examining a building, the same question could have a different meaning, probably. But as it is right now organized, it is very helpful to implement in many technologies, tools, or whatever one wants to assess. So just a couple of examples. For example, this is from the dimension of economic, which as a producer usually is the first one that you want to try, because it's business here. You need to make your business more viable, more successful. So you always start from this. And as I said before, I have been trying to think as the producer of the concrete. And this, for example, when it comes to fresh concrete, there is no obvious response. And this is an example of what I have been saying before. Obvious response of how much I improve the value per unit of mass, because the producer will still going to spend the same amount of money to produce 1 cubic meter of concrete, regardless of the waste. But as a company, if you have not the obligation to treat the waste, although the production line has the same cost, overall you have a much lower cost to run your company, and this is obviously something that means much better profits, because you leave treatment of waste to someone else, or in the best scenario you avoid treating waste, which is something that the owner will be really happy about it, because the waste does not have the value as a fresh concrete waste, and you have to spend man hours, as I said before, energy, and maintenance of the trucks or whatever. So there is this indirect cost, but you have to stay a little bit on the question to understand and interpret it through the perspective of the owner, to realize these additional costs that are not obvious probably to many other applications. It is not much better, because I have tried to respond based on real data that we have collected over a year, probably, from implementing the tool between 2 of our partners, the producer, the concrete producer, and the construction company. So in relation to the entire production of the company, it's not that much. But in the theoretical scenario that this will go out and be used by entire network of clients of this company, then yes, the answer could be a little bit different. So this is a point that all such tools may have, because you have to decide which is the frame you think, or you place, you understand your response every time. As I said before, I have gone through all the dimensions. I will just show you 2 or 3 dimensions. It also needs, well, Teresa said before that it is a tool that can be used by unexperienced users. This might not be, not experts. No, okay, this is more true. True is that you have at least to understand the framework you are dealing with. You have to understand the questions in order to be able to interpret the results. At the beginning, some of these results looked a little bit strange for me, because well, I have not responded just for this, but this is the algorithm that gave me these results. But when I have gone through all these questions and put everything in my mind, I have understood that a lot of information that has not been obvious for me became a little bit obvious now because of these results. And this is a great success, I guess, for the tool, because it gives you information you don't have or you don't imagine at the right stage. So to respond to Teresa, I would say that there is also another use of this tool, even for experienced users, to try to use it as an initial approach before using better methods, probably, to try to understand the context and the extent, or try to discover parameters that might not be so obvious in probably in other dimensions that are not so much experts. Here, for example, you see that there's no importance in funding, but it has to do also with the data, with our experience, because we did not have further investments in the tool or in the batching side to use this technology. It has been just a tool. When it comes, for example, to technical dimensions, the infrastructure availability for us here means that whenever something is required, it has to be accessible, it has to be available, because we have just 3 hours to respond. So it is a crucial factor. In other cases, this would not be, but we don't have a chance to wait for another couple of hours because we will lose the fresh concrete, it will become waste. This is one of the particularities that leads actually to these results. So overall, I think that the results were really nice. In cases I thought that there was something wrong there, probably it was just I needed some time to think a little bit more about it and understand that there is a point in results that I would not expect, or I have not given directly anyway. And also I consider this as a success. Well, in our case, there is no, in the tool that we are describing, there is no something that gets worse, because everything works fine. When you prevent something from becoming waste, you have benefits in everything, in money, in man hours, in costs, in environmental, in every single dimension. And obviously, in other cases, we would have something that would be worsened, even if it has to do with investments or whatever. Well, one has also to understand the specific particularities. Usually in concrete, water is a huge environmental problem. It's a huge quantity, a huge resource that has to be treated. But in the quantities that we have been using and testing the tool, and compared to the entire production line, this has not been so much important. And if I wanted to be objective to my responses, my answers were that okay, water is not that problem. We spend water anyway. Well, we do have another task that we did treat water, but it is not related actually or directly to the blockchain application. Regarding the suggestions were focused on the stakeholder I am supposed to represent, the manufacturer and the raw material supplier. As said before, there are some, this is the bad news, but it is expected also. There are some parameters that the suggestion might not be applicable to the particularities of blockchain application, not of blockchain application, but of French concrete particularities. But this is the minority. Most suggestions, most parameters that are discussed here do have a point to be considered. And it is obviously affected by the assessment results. There is a strong connection between these. This is more or less. Communication suggestions are always welcome, and these are also accurate, at least those that are referring to those parameters that are completely relevant to our case. Well, I think that's all for me. I could talk for hours. We could dive deep into each question, but I don't think that this is the case in this presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Theodoros.
Let's stop sharing.
Teresa, shall we now continue with the next presentation, or would you like to skip to the discussion part?
I think we can, if you can shorten a bit your presentation, just explaining what it's about and going to the main results. I think it's enough. We can finish in time. 12.
Okay.
Is it fine for you, Lefteria?
Yeah, sure. I guess if it's like
until 11:40, then we can manage. I mean, worst case, people could also write some, give some feedback after the session if the time is too short, but we can try it. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Thank you, Jan.
So, do you see now the presentation or not?
Yes.
Just wait. What do you see now? The presenting mode or the mode for the presenter?
Both from presenter.
Okay.
You have to change it.
I will change it again. And give me a moment. Okay, now it shall be better. Okay, so the second demonstration case is about our solution, how we are bringing cloud points quickly to digital models. We are calling it Cloud to BIM. And this was already demonstrated in Czechia for several projects. I have used one of the first one since it was possible to me to do the assessment as a representative of another large construction company in Czech Republic. So the assessment has been done from the perspective of let's say a sustainability manager who is knowing about the background of the reconstruction of the Hotel Opatov in Prague and has used for real let's say application the Cloud to BIM solution which has been developed in RECONMATIC. There are some backgrounds about the project. The main reason why we have used Cloud to BIM solution was because the construction site or finally the client needed a model with some non-graphical attributes or data for his later facility management stage. And he wanted to know how the status was, let's say, at the beginning, prior to starting the reconstruction, and then when the building was finished and the contractor had to provide as-built BIM model. So we used Cloud to BIM for the initial phase since there were no detailed drawings of the original building, and there was, of course, no model for the building. So the building was scanned from interior and exterior, and then the scans or the clouds, the point clouds you are getting have been forwarded to the application which has been developed within RECONMATIC, and a kind of 3D model was generated. This is how the hotel, or originally hotel, after reconstruction, it is residential building, but originally it was hotel, how it looks like. So a typical, let's say, prefabricated structure, how it was built many times in the past social countries or communist countries in Europe. That's how it looks like now. We are speaking about the right building. There are two. The hotel was just the right building. The other building was a kind of hostel and was not a part of, let's say, the reconstruction we are speaking about for this demo. What we have been used is our Cloud to BIM solution. As mentioned, we are trying to make the transfer from point clouds to to a digital model much faster. Yeah? If you are doing it in the regular way, it takes a lot of time for a few people to bring the point clouds to a 3D digital model, where the designer is able to work with this model further. In the bottom, you can see typical, not the most perfect kind of point cloud, which is then the input for the whole solution. What we are doing, it's an algorithm-based solution, so we are working a lot with machine learning and deep learning solutions, where we trained the models how to read the point clouds, so that they are able to differentiate what is a slab, what is a wall, later on even how to differentiate openings, if it is a window or a door, and it shall be transferred to IFC elements, so that the digital model is primarily delivered as a kind of IFC model. We started in the past with floor heights, then we moved to layouts to teach or learn the models how to differentiate what kind of element. So there is a lot of mathematics behind that. Later on, we moved when the models were able to differentiate walls and slabs. We moved to the, let's say, second step to learn them how to make a detection about further elements. Even in some cases, it was not so easy to teach them and to train them about the floor height, because usually you can scan only the interior, which is visible to you, and you are not able to exactly scan the thickness of each slab. So this was one of many challenges. Finally, you are getting for the building this kind of model, even including some, let's say, scaling, how precise each element is. In some cases where you see the red colors, it was usually about some spaces or rooms which were either closed or there were some materials stored. So in these cases, the model is doing some guess how the structure or the elements can look like. So what we are doing, we are moving from the left part of this slide to the right one, where not the computer programming is doing the processing of point clouds, but the algorithm which is trained is able to much quickly reach the result. We are speaking then about minutes in which we can turn even a more complicated structure from point clouds to a basic digital model, and you can then derive different views, etc. This slide is about further developments which have been done in last year, where we even try to change some of the strategies to even get much quicker solutions for the models. So this is just to share with you one of the very promising solutions where the machine learning is driven by the YOLO strategy, which is much faster, can even in some cases work with 2D data. So this is some of the improvements we are still working on. And based on that, and based on, let's say, the models you can see here, even with some plan views or cross sections, we were then able to run the assessment of the efficiency of cloud to BIM in terms of circularity and sustainability. I will run this quicker than Theodoros was doing it, because many of the feedbacks. Yes.
Sorry, as you are going to start explaining the results of the tool, and we are a bit out of time, would you mind if you can to stop here and to evaluate, to do the dynamic, and then if we are able,
no problem. I can stop sharing the screen, no problem.
Sorry, but I think we gather here a lot of well, good number of persons, and yeah,
Great.
all of us
Yeah.
take a little bit of time over that was expected, including me, of course. So I would like, at this moment, we would like to get some information from the attendees. So we are going to do a bit debate, but guided debate, leaded by Lefteria, please.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, let's try to see what we can manage to do in this little time we've left. But it would be really nice if we can get a bit of feedback from you before you leave. I know everybody's busy and your time is really valuable. So here I have we have created a Slido, like a questionnaire. So please go either at slido.com and then add this number, or you can use your mobile phone and just take a photo of the QR code, like this, black and white square you see here, and then you can log in into the poll. And it would be really nice if you can choose in which of these categories, stakeholders you belong to. So researchers, consultants, manufacturers, and raw material suppliers, architects, designers, and engineers, construction companies, waste management, recovery and recycling companies, asset owners, managers and clients, demolition and disassembly, and companies. Yeah. So we have 10 people until now. Let's wait a little bit more so that you have the time to make it work. I can also see just a few more seconds. It's only 3 questions, so it's not gonna take super long. But it would be really nice to have also your background somehow, and then, we try to somehow filter out the potential feedback you might have based on your background.
We can send it also later on.
Yeah, exactly. That would be really nice. Okay, so then I can move to the next session, the next question. I hope you can still answer it if you like, even if I choose next, because I can see now you're still responding. Give me a second. Okay, and then we wanted to ask you regarding the tools you saw today, if you would consider such a tool useful for supporting decision making in your organization. Oh, sorry, there is a small typo here. And you can say yes, clearly useful, potentially useful, but it needs some refinement. I need to test it first, or no, not relevant for my activity. I also give it a few more seconds. We can have 16, 17 people like before. Thank you so much for your input. And then I can click and let's go to the next session question. We wanted to also know if you would consider using this tool in one of your upcoming projects. this tool, or like enhancements of this one, or extensions. Yeah, is very likely, possibly, likely, unlikely. That could be also very valuable for us to know this. Great, thank you very much. So maybe, Teresa, we can skip the commenting of the answers.
Yeah,
right?
we will
Say something, of
we will
course.
save it, and we will send also the results. I think it's interesting to all the registered.
Exactly. Yeah, we can do that. And then we had a thought of doing a small exercise with you. Let's give it a try. It's a bit experimental, we have to admit. I will give you a link here in the chat of the Google Meet. And we have created a board here that we would like to collect some feedback about the tools we have just presented. And there is one part that has to do about the usability and, yeah, like your perception about the usability and the integration of the tool. And we wanted to collect some, let's say, more positive aspects on the left side, and then some more like barriers, difficulties that you see with this tool on this right side. If you click on the link that I have sent, you can go in this board and you can take one of these little post-its here. You just have to click on them and then do this like drag and drop. So you can also copy them and make a new one, or just use the ones that they exist here, and you can move it wherever you like, and then you can write a comment. So it would be really nice if you can. I mean, now we don't have so much time. We had planned that we can do a bit of a.
Also, it can be talk. If someone wants to comment something, the idea is to improve, to gather also all the potential improvement, but also the potential arguments to share.
Exactly.
And to foster the success of the tool. So
exactly. So if you want, we can also type it in. I mean, you don't have to do it on your own.
Yeah.
And we have chosen like these different post-it colors so that we can also map your background somehow. If it's so it would be nice if we can choose the correct post-it. I don't know if anyone wants to say something or give some feedback also like orally. That's also fine for us, and we can add it here, or just take your time to do it. I can stay silent for 2-3 minutes, then you can write something.
Lefteria, I cannot find all the post-its, for instance, for manufacturers.
Okay, wait a minute here. Yeah, let me create one. Yeah, sorry. There was one. I'll fix it, yeah.
Just make, okay.
No, it was just moved.
But I cannot see in the... So please try to be constructive. I mean, if you really see some barriers of implementations, barriers for usability, or if you think that is good for a specific purposes, it would like to know, because this will help to foster and customize the tool if needed for further applications. For instance, we are considering to use this tool for to evaluate or to assess ideas of projects, of research and development projects, as we are a research institute. So this is useful to assess what our colleagues from other research departments are developing, and to see which areas of improvement we need to,
That is very good, Teresa. Very, very good.
yeah, it's just, you know, to see, okay, they develop a project, they develop a material, a technology, or a product, and then assessing this solution, it helps to contextualize and to see which are the strengths and weakness of the project, and then to work on it. It's an example, you know, an additional example beyond this RECONMATIC project. I'm just.
And like this first part, it's more about the usability of the tool, like how it would feel like to use it for your work. And then we had also on the other side, another two questions for you, which they are more related on so we wanted to know about specific results that they are valuable for you. So what type of results create the most value for you from what you've heard today? And if you have also ideas of additional functionalities or extensions of the tool, this is something we would also like to know. And we have these two questions. They are like on the right side of this Canva board.
Yeah, you can move around.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to show it in case some people were ready. And we can leave the Canva board open also after this call. So if you have any ideas, please feel free to put them in, and then we can summarize and share it, probably with the participants. Teresa, Jan, agree?
Read carefully all of them. Exclamación. Action.
If anyone has trouble writing the cards and wants that we help, that I help, let us know. We were also planning to put a bit of music, but now everything went so fast. We didn't do it.
Could you clarify, for instance, your comment from the main variables? This is a guidance tool. It can't cover with safety the actual or final needs decision making. Could you explain a little bit more, just to see if we can improve the tool?
So it's about this yellow post-it.
Yeah.
Who was it? Architect, designer, engineer. If someone wants to say something about it. Safety. So I guess this means that it needs some additional things, right? That it doesn't like cover with certainty the final needs for the decision making. So maybe it would be nice if this person could also add something here. What could be additional outputs, for example, that they would expect that this tool would do? They don't want to share something publicly. Yeah.
I'm curious also, or I could, there is one comment in what type of results create the most value. And they talk about quantitatives and numerical that allows comparison between different scenarios. So just to clarify that at the beginning we were trying to make some benchmark to compare and to add figures, emission factors, and so on. But it's really difficult when you talk about when you are assessing innovative solutions. But of course, when this tool can be can be adapted to a specific case study, I think this could be possible. Very much for being here.